The galaxy was vast, full of life, full of power. Great empires ruled across the stars with fleets of shining warships and weapons that could destroy planets. To them, small species were nothing more than dust under their boots. Among these countless worlds, there was one small blue planet. A world that most aliens never even noticed. They called it primitive. They called its people weak. This planet was Earth. For a long time, humans lived without knowing how dangerous the galaxy truly was. They looked up at the stars and dreamed, while alien eyes looked down on them with silence, waiting, judging. And then, one day, that silence broke. An empire came. They arrived not with friendship, but with fire. Their ships filled the skies, dark and endless. Cities below shook as the heavens opened and fire rained down. The people of Earth screamed. Buildings fell, oceans boiled, and the ground shook as if the planet itself was in pain. Humanity had never seen such power before. To the invaders, it was easy. Just another conquest, just another world to burn. They thought humans would surrender. They thought fear would break their will. And at first, it looked true. Millions died in days. Armies were crushed before they could even fight. Entire nations vanished in fire. The alien empire believed it was over. But they were wrong. In the ashes of ruined cities, something moved. Not a monster of flesh, not a beast of legend, but something far more dangerous. The human spirit. Survivors crawled from the rubble, broken but alive. They looked at the burning skies not with surrender, but with a quiet fire in their eyes. Families hid in caves, soldiers regrouped in bunkers, scientists carried their work into secret labs. The invaders laughed, believing they had won. But in the dark, the humans whispered to each other. Words of anger. Words of unity. Words of revenge. For the first time in their history, humanity forgot about borders and nations. They forgot about their differences. Under the shadow of destruction, they became one. One voice. One people. One purpose. The aliens thought they had awakened a weak, helpless prey. But what they truly awakened was something far more dangerous. A monster. Not a monster that roared in the night. Not a monster that clawed and killed with fangs. No. This monster was quiet, patient, intelligent. A monster made of billions of hearts beating as one. The humans were broken, yes. But they were not defeated. And in that silence, in that pain, they began to build. Hidden bunkers became workshops. Ruins of fallen cities became training grounds. Old factories, once used for peace, now forged weapons of war. And when human hands touched alien technology, something terrifying happened. Humans changed it, improved it, twisted it into shapes the aliens never dreamed of. The invaders had brought fire to Earth. Now, humanity was preparing to return that fire 100 times stronger. The first sparks of rebellion were small. Quiet sabotage. Disappearing patrols. Strange shadows in the night sky. But to the Empire, these were only small accidents, meaningless details. They did not see the truth. They did not understand the storm that was growing. For every city destroyed, 1,000 voices cried out in rage. For every family taken, 10 more swore vengeance. And vengeance is a seed that grows quickly when watered with blood. The galaxy would soon learn what humanity was truly capable of. But in this moment, in the ashes of Earth, only one thing was certain. The monster had awakened. And it was hungry. The alien empire celebrated. To them, Earth was already broken. They had destroyed cities, silenced armies, and left humanity crawling in the dirt. Their commanders sent reports of victory back to their leaders, and their fleets moved on, searching for the next world to conquer. But they had made a mistake. They believed the humans were finished. They believed Earth was silent. But silence is not always defeat. Sometimes silence means something is waiting. Something is preparing. Beneath the surface of the ruined planet, life burned like hidden fire. In the shadows of broken skyscrapers, survivors gathered. Men and women who had lost everything, families, homes, entire nations, now stood together. They had nothing left except their will to fight. And so, they began. In bunkers deep underground, soldiers met in secret. Maps were spread across dusty tables, weapons were counted, and plans were made. Engineers and scientists worked side by side, using whatever they could salvage. Pieces of alien machines, broken weapons, shattered drones, all became precious. Humanity did not just copy alien technology. They reshaped it. They adapted it. Where the invaders relied on power, humans relied on creativity. Soon, strange weapons appeared. Small, but sharp. Crude, but deadly. At first, the attacks were whispers. A patrol ship exploded without reason. A supply line vanished in the dark. A single alien outpost went silent overnight. The Empire ignored it. They thought these were accidents, mechanical failures, simple problems. After all, what could the humans do? They were weak. They had no fleets. They had no empire. They had no future. But the truth was different. Humanity was building its answer. In one bunker, a scientist held up a weapon made from alien parts. It looked rough, dangerous, unstable. But when it fired, it cut through steel like paper. Soldiers around him did not cheer. They simply nodded. Quiet. Focused. They knew this was only the beginning. Resistance groups spread across Earth like sparks of fire. A destroyed city became a battlefield where humans struck fast and vanished. Forests and mountains hid armies that no alien scanner could find. And above it all, whispers spread, "We will take back our world." The aliens started to notice. Their fleets were not as safe as they once believed. A small convoy entered Earth's orbit, none of the ships returned. An entire garrison sent a distress call, and then silence. Commanders grew uneasy. Reports were conflicting. Some said humans were using new weapons. Others said they fought with impossible courage, refusing to fall even when outnumbered. There were even rumors that humans were capturing alien soldiers alive, something unthinkable, something terrifying. Fear began to crawl into the Empire's heart. Still, the leaders laughed. "They are only insects," they said. "Let them resist. We will crush them again when we wish." But insects do not build fleets. Insects do not steal the fire of the stars. One night, in the blackness of space, the first true counterattack came. A small alien fleet patrolled near Earth, confident and relaxed. Then, without warning, shadows moved among the stars. Human ships, strange, sharp, nothing like the polished fleets of the Empire, appeared out of the dark. They struck fast. Missiles burned like fireflies, tearing through alien hulls. Weapons made from stolen technology screamed across the void. The battle was over before it had truly begun. When the alien empire tried to contact the fleet, there was no answer. Only silence. And in that silence, fear grew. Humanity had spoken, not with words, but with fire. They would not beg. They would not bow. They would fight. The galaxy had thought Earth was broken. But Earth was awake now. And soon, everyone would see what humanity was capable of. The alien empire had believed in its own strength for too long. Its fleets stretched across the galaxy, its armies crushed countless worlds, and its rulers thought themselves untouchable. But now, something was changing. Whispers began to spread. Ships sent to Earth were not returning. Colonies close to human space went dark, their signals cut off. Outposts that once sent regular reports suddenly fell silent. At first, the Empire thought it was nothing. They said it was communication problems, or mechanical failures. But soon, the silence became too loud to ignore. Commanders gathered in their grand halls, speaking in sharp voices. Some laughed, saying humans were too weak to be a threat. Others frowned, remembering the strange reports from soldiers who had survived. They spoke of ambushes, of traps, of humans who refuse to die even when cornered. They fight like shadows, one alien soldier said before his execution. They come from nowhere. They vanish into nothing. And when you think they are gone, they strike again. The Empire dismissed his words as madness. But deep inside, they began to wonder. The truth was clear, humans were no longer fighting like prey. They were fighting like predators. Alien patrols moved more carefully now. Convoys added extra guards. Ships scanned the dark space around them again and again, afraid of what might be hiding there. Fear had entered the stars. But fear alone was not the worst part. It was what fear created. Doubt. Doubt spread like a poison through the Empire's fleets. Captains who once laughed at human weakness now checked their weapons twice before entering Earth's orbit. Soldiers whispered in their barracks, wondering if the humans had new weapons, or if they had become something more than mortal. Rumors grew. Some said humans had found allies among other species. Others claimed humans had awakened an ancient power buried deep within their world. The most frightening rumor of all said that humans had learned how to change alien technology into something far more dangerous than its creators ever imagined. And there was truth in that rumor. Hidden across the ruins of Earth, human engineers worked without rest. They built ships that did not look like alien vessels, but carried weapons that burned hotter, struck faster, and cut deeper. Their fleets were not large, but they were clever. And in war, cleverness could kill giants. One alien commander sent his fleet to wipe out the humans once and for all. He wanted to silence the whispers, to prove to his people that humanity was nothing. His ships entered human space, armed and ready. But the humans were waiting. They had studied alien tactics. They knew how the Empire fought. They knew how the Empire thought. And they used that knowledge like a blade. The fleet never returned. Days passed, and then weeks. No signals, no survivors. Only silence. The Empire grew restless. Its rulers demanded answers. They could not accept the truth. Their weak enemy had destroyed them. Instead, they called it an accident, a failure of command. But the whispers in the galaxy only grew louder. Across other worlds, alien species watched with wide eyes. For generations, they too had lived under the boot of the Empire. They had seen worlds fall and burn. But now, they saw something new. They saw humans fighting back. And with every rumor, with every vanished fleet, the galaxy began to fear not just for the Empire, but for what humanity might become. For when prey learns to fight, predators must be careful. And when prey becomes the hunter, the galaxy itself trembles. The Empire had thought they awoke a weak species. But what they had truly awoken was a storm. And that storm was spreading. The Empire had laughed at first. Then it had grown uneasy. Now, it was afraid. Its fleets had disappeared into the dark. Its colonies had gone silent. Its soldiers whispered of shadows that struck without mercy. And still, the rulers told themselves the same lie: humans are weak. Humans cannot fight us. But the truth was already revealed in fire and blood. Humanity was no longer fighting as scattered survivors. Humanity was no longer defending broken cities. Humanity had become something greater. Humanity had become united. For the first time in their history, every nation, every people, every broken survivor stood together. They no longer cared about borders. They no longer cared about differences. Their only purpose was survival. Their only goal was victory. And when billions of voices cry out with the same purpose, something powerful is born. The Empire had awoken a monster. But this monster was not a single creature. It was not a beast of claw and tooth. No. The monster was all of humanity. Billions of minds, billions of hearts, billions of hands working together in silence and rage. From the ruins of Earth, hidden fleets emerged. Ships that did not shine like the Empire's polished vessels, but ships that carried the hunger of survival. They were sharp. They were fast. They were built not for pride, but for war. Factories that once made machines of peace now created weapons of destruction. Scientists who once studied the stars now built engines that could outpace the Empire's fastest ships. Soldiers trained day and night, ready to die if it meant one alien ship would fall with them. Every death the Empire had given them only made the humans stronger. Every city burned became fuel for their rage. Every scream in the night became a vow. And soon, the galaxy began to see what this monster looked like. An alien outpost on the edge of human space suddenly found itself surrounded. Out of the darkness came a fleet of human ships. They did not speak. They did not ask for surrender. They struck. The outpost fell in hours. Then another outpost. Then a fleet. Then a colony. The Empire's leaders demanded answers. How could this be? How could a species they once crushed now fight like this? The answer was simple: humanity had nothing left to lose. And a people with nothing left to lose is the most dangerous enemy of all. Alien commanders tried to explain it to their rulers. They said, "These humans are not like others. They do not fear death. They do not stop. When they fall, they rise again. When they lose, they learn. They fight as if every battle is their last." Still, the rulers refused to listen. They believed in their power. They believed in their empire. They could not see that the monster they had awakened was already at their gates. But the galaxy saw. Other species watched as humans fought. They saw the empire bleed, and for the first time in centuries, hope stirred in their hearts. If humans could fight back, maybe they could too. If humans could wound the empire, maybe the empire was not as strong as it claimed. The monster revealed itself not only in war, but in the idea it carried. The idea that no empire, no matter how powerful, could break the will of a united people. And the more humanity fought, the more terrifying they became. They did not seek peace. They did not ask for mercy. They struck again and again, each attack sharper, each strike stronger. To the empire, it felt as if the humans were everywhere. Fleets vanished. Colonies burned. And the silence of defeat spread across the stars. The monster had been revealed. It was not a nightmare to be ignored. It was not a myth to be dismissed. It was real. It was humanity. And it was coming. The empire could no longer ignore the truth. Its fleets were vanishing. Its colonies were burning. Its soldiers no longer laughed at humans. They feared them. And fear spreads quickly. Whispers filled the galaxy. The humans are winning. The humans cannot be stopped. Other species listened with wide eyes, daring to hope. If the empire could fall, then maybe they too could be free. The rulers of the empire grew desperate. They gathered their strength, calling back ships from every corner of the stars. They built an armada greater than any before. Thousands of warships, countless soldiers, weapons that had crushed hundreds of worlds. "This will end it," the rulers said. "We will burn Earth to ashes. We will show the galaxy our power." The great armada moved toward the little blue planet, confident in its strength. To them, it was simple. Earth would finally be destroyed, and the human monster would be silenced forever. But the monster was waiting. Humanity had known this day would come. From the moment the first city fell, they had prepared for it. Every weapon they built, every ship they forged, every sacrifice they made was for this one moment. And when the alien armada arrived, the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. The battle began. Alien fleets poured fire across the skies, but humanity's ships moved like shadows. They darted between blasts, striking fast, cutting deep. Weapons stolen and remade by human hands tore through the Empire's strongest shields. Missiles screamed across the void, slamming into enemy hulls. The Empire answered with its own fury. Planets shook, skies burned, oceans boiled. But the humans did not break. They fought with the rage of billions, with the courage of survivors, with the strength of a united people. One by one, alien warships fell. A massive dreadnought, pride of the Empire, exploded in a storm of fire as human torpedoes tore its heart apart. Smaller ships swarmed the larger ones, hitting weak points the aliens never thought anyone would find. Every strike was sharp. Every strike was personal. Because for humanity, this was not just war. It was vengeance. The battle raged for hours, then days. The Empire's commanders grew desperate. Their fleets were shrinking, their soldiers terrified. They had never faced an enemy that fought like this. An enemy that did not beg. An enemy that did not surrender. An enemy that turned pain into strength. And then, the impossible happened. The Armada, the Empire's greatest weapon, broke. Shattered ships drifted in silence. Survivors fled into the dark, chased by human fire. The Empire had sent its mightiest force to destroy Earth. Instead, it had been destroyed. When the last alien ship fell, the humans did not cheer. They did not celebrate. They simply stood in silence, watching the fires fade. They knew this was only the beginning. But the galaxy knew something greater. The Empire had been defeated. And in that moment, a message spread across the stars. Not through words, not through speeches, but through the simple truth of survival. You thought we were weak. You thought we were broken. You thought you could burn our world and end us. But you were wrong. We are humanity. And now you will see what we are capable of. The monster had answered. And the galaxy would never forget it.